You've done everything you were told to do. You've read the books, repeated the affirmations, practiced forgiveness, and visualized the life you want. You've said, "I'm ready," 1,000 times. And yet something still feels stuck. It's as if you're pressing forward with one foot on the brake. You wonder, what am I doing wrong? You question whether the universe forgot you. You feel tired of working on yourself. You start to think maybe healing just isn't meant for you. But here's the truth. You are not doing anything wrong. You are simply holding on when life is asking you to let go. Being stuck isn't punishment. It's a message. It's life saying you can't receive new blessings while your hands are full of old pain. It's your body whispering, "I can't heal if you keep feeding me yesterday's fear." It's your soul reminding you that control and flow cannot exist in the same breath. We've been taught to force change, to chase, to push, to plan every detail until there's no room for miracles. But healing isn't about control, it's about trust. It's not about adding more effort. It's about releasing what no longer serves your peace. Maybe the real reason you feel stuck is because you're still trying to earn what's already yours. You keep proving your worth instead of remembering it. You keep analyzing the wound instead of allowing it to close. You keep asking, "When will I receive?" while gripping so tightly that nothing can enter your hands. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means creating space for grace. It means trusting that what is yours cannot pass you by. It means no longer confusing movement with progress or struggle with purpose. The more you relax into faith, the faster life can move again. There was a time when you needed control. It kept you safe. It helped you survive. But now, it's the very thing holding you back. Healing asks for softness, not tension. It asks for surrender, not strategy. Life cannot flow where you refuse to release. Think of a clenched fist. It can't hold anything new. The moment you open it, energy moves again. The same is true for your heart. You say you want peace, but you keep replaying the argument. You say you want love, but you hold on to fear. You say you want healing, but you cling to old stories. What if you stopped repeating the narrative of what went wrong and began blessing what went right? What if you stopped trying to fix your past and started trusting your future? Every time you loosen your grip, you tell the universe, "I'm ready to receive differently this time." Maybe you've mistaken busyness for progress. Maybe you've tried to meditate the pain away, journal the past away, achieve your way out of unworthiness. But true release doesn't come from doing more. It comes from being more honest. From admitting, "I'm tired of carrying this," and finally setting it down. In the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete. Notice she didn't say, "when I try harder," or "when I fix myself." She said, "where I am." Because healing begins the moment you stop resisting where you are right now. Being stuck is not a life sentence, it's a signal. It's your inner being saying you've outgrown this pattern. It's your body saying, "I can't keep holding stress that doesn't belong to me." It's your heart saying, "I'm ready for peace." But you must trust me enough to stop controlling every detail. Letting go is an act of faith. It's believing that you don't have to micromanage the universe for things to work out. It's understanding that life loves you enough to reroute you, even when it looks like delay. It's realizing that waiting is not punishment, it's alignment. When you finally release, you'll notice the world respond. Opportunities start appearing where resistance used to live. People who drained you will quietly drift away. Your body will sigh in relief. Your energy will rise again. The moment you stop fighting, life starts flowing. Imagine this. You wake up tomorrow, take a deep breath, and instead of rushing to plan your next breakthrough, you whisper, "I trust life." You look in the mirror and say, "I no longer chase. I attract. I no longer beg. I allow." That thought alone can transform your entire day. You spent years trying to figure out how to make healing happen. But healing was never something you had to make, only something you had to allow. Life has been ready to bless you for a long time. It's just been waiting for you to unclench your hands. Let go of the old story, the one that says healing has to be hard, that you must suffer to grow, that love must be earned. None of it is true. The truth is that ease is holy, rest is productive, faith is magnetic, and surrender is the bridge to everything you've asked for. So if you feel stuck today, don't panic, don't label it as failure. See it for what it is, a pause before expansion, a sacred moment of rebalancing. You are not behind, you are aligning. You are not lost, you are being redirected toward peace. Take a breath and let the tension melt from your shoulders. Life knows where to take you next. It always has. Your only task is to stop holding the reins so tightly that you miss the ride. Let go, and you'll see the universe was never against you. It was waiting for you to loosen your grip and receive, because the moment you release control, peace flows in. The moment you let go, love enters. And the moment you stop chasing what's next, you finally receive what's now. There is a quiet ache that comes when we feel life is not moving. It is not loud, yet it hums beneath every thought. We look around and see others blooming, changing, succeeding, and we wonder, why not me? But feeling stuck is not failure. It is simply the soul's way of saying, pause. Something within needs your attention. So many people think that being stuck means they've done something wrong, but nothing in life is wrong when viewed through love. Every pause has purpose. The same power that grows a seed beneath the soil is working in your stillness. The pause is preparation, not punishment. When you feel immobile, it is often because your energy is holding tightly to an old pattern. The body may feel heavy, the mind may spin in circles, and the heart feels closed. But the moment you loosen your grip, even slightly, energy begins to flow again. Life has not left you. It is waiting for your permission to move through you. I remember times in my own journey when nothing seemed to change. I repeated affirmations until they lost their meaning. I pushed, I planned, I tried to fix. I thought effort alone could move mountains. But the mountains within us do not move by force. They soften by faith. When I stopped pushing, I found peace. Being stuck is not a stop sign. It is a redirection inward. Life pauses us, not to punish, but to remind. It whispers, you have been running away from your center. When we forget our inner balance, life will always guide us back to it, sometimes by slowing us down, sometimes by standing us still. Resistance has a texture. It tightens the muscles, shortens the breath, and fills the mind with noise. But when we surrender, everything softens. The body sighs, the breath deepens, the thoughts become quieter. That calmness is not the absence of movement. It is the restoration of harmony. Many think the answer to stagnation is more doing. They chase another book, another plan, another solution. But the more we add, the heavier we become. Healing begins when we subtract, when we release the mental clutter and return to simplicity. Stillness is not laziness, it is sacred alignment. Energy cannot flow where tension lives. Have you ever tried to drink through a straw that's pinched shut? No matter how much effort you give, nothing comes through. The same is true with your life. The moment you relax the pinch of control, abundance rushes in naturally. We create our own congestion by rehearsing yesterday and fearing tomorrow. The past fills our minds with should have, and the future fills it with what if. Both are illusions. Only this moment breathes. When you fully enter it, you realize you were never stuck. You were only absent. Sometimes life stills you so you can hear what you've been avoiding. Perhaps there is grief asking to be felt, forgiveness waiting to be offered, or rest longing to be taken. The pause gives you space to listen. What you call stagnation is often your own heart calling you home. I once met a woman who said, "Louise, I feel so stuck." I asked her, "What are you trying to move that isn't ready?" She paused, then wept. Her tears were the movement she'd been seeking. Emotion long held inside had begun to flow. Sometimes the first step forward is not action, but release. We've been taught that progress must be visible, that movement means proof. But the greatest transformations happen unseen. Seeds grow roots before they sprout. The same is true for your spirit. What looks like stillness on the surface is deep rearrangement beneath. Busyness is one of the cleverest disguises for fear. We keep moving so we don't have to feel. We fix, we help, we plan, we clean. We distract all to avoid sitting in silence with ourselves. Yet silence is where the voice of life speaks most clearly. Peace is found not in motion, but in presence. I once mistook stagnation for failure. I would think I must not be doing enough. But healing does not come from effort, it comes from allowance. When I learned to trust the process of life, to stop forcing and start flowing, every area of my being began to breathe again. Stuckness is the soul's request for surrender. It says, you cannot think your way forward anymore. You must feel your way through. The mind builds walls, the heart opens doors. When the mind tires of control, the heart gently takes the lead, and the moment you listen, movement begins. There is wisdom in the pause. Life knows when you need to stop. It knows when your energy is scattered, your focus divided, your heart weary. The stillness is an act of mercy, a divine intervention saying, rest here, beloved, you have pushed enough. You see, control tightens the current of life, but trust restores it. The river never struggles to flow, it simply follows the path of least resistance. Healing happens the same way. The more we resist, the more we tire. The more we trust, the more we float effortlessly toward peace. When we cling to old ways of being, we block the new from entering. Imagine holding a closed fist under running water, nothing can enter. But when you open your hand, the water fills it easily. Life works the same way. The moment you open, you receive. We often try to rush transformation. We say, I should be further by now, but love does not rush. It knows perfect timing. Every lesson arrives when you are ready, not when you are impatient. Even apparent delay is divine preparation. You are not behind, you are being ripened. Sometimes we confuse activity for progress, but the soul does not measure motion, it measures alignment. You can move all day and stay in the same place if you are moving against yourself, but one moment of surrender moves you further than years of resistance. Notice your breath. When you feel trapped, does it shorten? Does your body stiffen? These are signs of control. Now breathe slowly with trust. Feel the chest expand, the shoulders lower. This is how life feels when you cooperate with it. Effortless, rhythmic, kind. When I speak of letting go, people often ask, but how? The answer is always gentleness. You let go by softening, not by forcing, by breathing, not by bracing. You stop trying to fix and start choosing peace. Letting go is not something you do, it is something you allow. The pause that you call stuck is often the threshold between the old and the new. It is the doorway between the self you were and the self you are becoming. Do not rush through it. Walk slowly. Bless the space in between. Every great rebirth begins in stillness. When you feel stuck, remember, nothing is wrong. Life has simply placed you in a moment of grace. You are being invited to trust deeper than before, to release control, to breathe again. The more you resist, the longer the lesson lingers. The more you surrender, the sooner peace returns. I have always said, the only thing we ever need to let go of is fear. Every other attachment, every other block is rooted in that. Fear makes us cling, and clinging makes us tired. But love invites us to loosen, to let life lead, to remember that all is unfolding for our good. Do not be discouraged if the stillness lasts longer than you expect. Remember, the earth takes her time between seasons. The tree does not worry when it has no leaves. It trusts that spring will come. So too must you trust that your bloom is being prepared beneath the surface. Each time you choose patience over panic, your energy realigns with peace. Each time you stop fighting the moment, you make space for guidance. The universe cannot move in chaos. It moves in calm. Your calm is the invitation for life to resume its flow. You are not stuck, you are being refined. The friction you feel is the polishing of your soul. The delay you resist is divine precision. The quiet you fear is the womb of transformation. Trust it. Nothing still is truly still when it is aligned with love. When you finally understand that being stuck is not failure but feedback, you stop judging it. You begin to ask, what is this pause trying to teach me? And the answer always comes to trust again. That lesson alone can change everything. Now close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath in. Let the breath out slowly. Feel how even now, in this stillness, energy moves quietly, faithfully, lovingly. The pause is not the absence of life. It is life's breath between words. Stuckness is compassion in disguise, a pause long enough for you to remember who you are without the noise, without the striving, without the past. It is life saying, rest here, all is well. And when you finally believe that, the energy that once felt trapped begins to move again, not through effort, but through grace. Let this truth settle gently within you. You are not behind, you are not broken, you are simply being invited to trust more deeply. And as you trust, the stillness will turn to flow. That is how life always moves, through love, through faith, through release. When we feel stuck, it is rarely because life has stopped moving. It is because we are still holding on, not to joy, but to pain, not to peace, but to control. We cling to memories, expectations, resentments, and fears as if they define us, yet they only exhaust us. What we refuse to release becomes what we relive. The invisible weights that bind us are not always dramatic. They can be quiet, a thought repeated too often, a regret revisited, a name we still whisper in pain. Each one is an anchor, keeping us tied to a place we've already outgrown. To be free, we must be willing to loosen the rope. Guilt is one of the heaviest of these anchors. It says, I should have known better. But guilt is not wisdom, it is self-punishment. Wisdom says, I did the best I could with what I knew. The moment you forgive yourself for not being perfect, your spirit begins to rise again. I remember the years when I carried guilt like a secret stone. I thought holding it meant taking responsibility, but it only kept me in sorrow. True responsibility is not reliving the past, it is choosing a kinder thought now. The past cannot be repaired, but it can be redeemed through understanding. Resentment is another chain. We hold it tightly, convinced it keeps us safe. If I stay angry, I won't be hurt again. But resentment does not protect, it poisons, keeps the wound open. Forgiveness is not for the one who hurt us, it is for the one who still carries the hurt ourselves. Letting go is not forgetting, it is not pretending the wound never happened. It is remembering it differently. It is saying, that experience taught me, but it does not define me. The lesson stays, the suffering leaves, the story remains, but now it ends in peace. We often keep pain because it feels familiar. The unknown can feel frightening, even when it promises freedom. The mind whispers, at least I know this pain. But healing asks us to step beyond the known. It invites us to trust that what lies ahead is gentler than what we leave behind. Sometimes we cling not to the event itself, but to the identity it gave us. We call ourselves the one who was betrayed, the one who failed, the one who wasn't chosen. These stories once made sense, but when we keep repeating them, they become cages. You are not your past. You are the love that survived it. Pain lingers where attention refuses to move. I once met a woman who said, "I can't forgive my father for leaving." I asked her, "When did you stop living your own life?" She was quiet. Her energy was still stuck in that moment, years ago. The body does not forget until the heart releases. Letting go is an act of deep courage. It asks us to face the emptiness that follows the release. That silence feels frightening at first, like a space where meaning once was. But soon the silence fills with peace. Life abhors a vacuum. Once you release the old, grace rushes in to take its place. The mind loves repetition. It confuses it with safety. It replays conversations, regrets, arguments. Each replay keeps the pain alive. Healing begins the moment we stop pressing play. You do not have to rewrite the story. You only have to stop narrating it in fear. Sometimes the hardest thing to release is our need to be right. The ego would rather suffer than surrender its story. But peace asks for humility. It says, "I value serenity more than victory." You cannot both cling to justification and open to joy. Choose peace. It will always give you back your strength. Many of us believe that holding on shows loyalty to the person we lost, to the injustice we endured. But true loyalty is to love itself, not to pain. You honor the past not by reliving it, but by growing from it. The best tribute to any wound is the wisdom it awakened in you. Control often disguises itself as love. We hold on because we think if I don't, everything will fall apart. But life does not fall apart when we let go. It falls into place. Control is the hand that squeezes. Love is the hand that opens. Letting go is the language through which love speaks. Every emotion we resist stays in the body. Anger hardens the jaw. Guilt tightens the stomach. Sadness weighs on the chest. The body carries what the mind refuses to release. That is why forgiveness is medicine. It is not abstract. It is physical relief. Every "I forgive" unties a knot inside you. I used to tell my students, you can bless it or you can curse it, but either way, you keep it. Whatever you resist persists. Whatever you bless dissolves. Bless even the pain for what it taught you. Bless the people who left. They created space for those who will stay. Bless the lessons that felt unfair. They refined your strength. You cannot move forward while staring backward. Try walking while keeping your head turned behind you. You will stumble. Life works the same way. The moment you face forward, balance returns. Forgiveness is the act of turning your gaze from the door that closed to the light that awaits ahead. The process of release is not one grand act. It is 1,000 small ones. Each time you choose peace over bitterness, silence over reaction, understanding over judgment, you are letting go. Every day you soften a little more. One day, you realize the memory no longer hurts, it only exists. Sometimes release begins with simple honesty. I am tired of carrying this. That sentence alone can open a floodgate. The soul does not need eloquence, it needs sincerity. When you finally admit your exhaustion, you give life permission to help you rest. Healing asks for repetition, not of pain, but of peace. Repeat "I release" as often as you once repeated the old story. Every gentle repetition re-educates the mind. You are teaching it to prefer calm over chaos, to choose faith over fear. The mind learns by rhythm. Make love its new melody. Remember that release is not an abandonment of the past, it is the honoring of its purpose. Every experience brought you to this moment of awareness. Without it, you would not see so clearly. So bless the journey, not because it was painless, but because it was meaningful. I have seen people transform by changing one simple sentence. Instead of saying, "Why did this happen to me?" they began to say, "What is this teaching me?" That question shifts everything. It moves you from victimhood to wisdom, from resistance to understanding. When you release judgment, understanding rushes in. You begin to see that even those who hurt you were acting from their own pain. Compassion replaces resentment. You realize that everyone, including you, was doing the best they could with what they knew at the time. There will be moments when the old emotions return. Do not panic. It does not mean you failed. It means another layer is ready to leave. Healing peels like petals, one at a time, each revealing more softness underneath. Be gentle. Progress is measured not in speed, but in depth. You may find yourself tempted to reopen old wounds, to test if they still hurt. Resist the urge. Let healing be final where it can be. You do not owe your pain another audience. Some chapters close quietly, not with applause, but with relief. Allow them to rest. The past will always try to whisper, but you no longer have to answer. Let it speak into silence. Let it echo and fade. You have new music now, the sound of calm breath, of faith returning, of life flowing again. Peace makes no noise, but it fills every corner of your being. Try this simple practice. Close your eyes, breathe in deeply, and whisper, "I bless my past." Breathe out slowly and say, "I release it to divine order." Each breath is an act of trust. The inhale welcomes love. The exhale lets go of what love no longer needs to carry. Release cannot be forced. It comes like the tide in waves, in rhythm. Some days you will feel free, others heavy again. That is natural. Healing is not straight, it spirals. Each return brings deeper understanding. Patience is the companion of true release. I often remind people that nothing you have released with love is ever truly lost. What is real, wisdom, strength, compassion remains. Only the pain leaves, the love stays, the lesson stays. What departs is the resistance that once made life feel heavy. As you release, notice how the body responds. The breath lightens, the mind quiets, the heart feels spacious. This is the miracle of letting go. Peace returns not because life changed, but because your relationship with it did. You stopped clutching. You started trusting. Remember, you do not need to earn release. You only need to allow it. The universe already knows how to take what you no longer need. Your only task is willingness. Life handles the rest. When you truly surrender, the process becomes effortless. Let go of the guilt, the blame, the story that keeps you small. You are not your mistakes. You are not your memories. You are the awareness that watches them pass. And the moment you realize that you are free, not because the past vanished, but because it no longer rules you. Now, take one more deep breath. Place your hand on your heart. Feel its steady rhythm constant, faithful, unbroken. Whisper softly, "I bless my past," and release it to divine order. I am willing to be free. Let those words echo inside you until they feel true. Because they are true, you are free the moment you decide to be. There is a deep weariness that comes from trying to manage life. We make endless lists, tighten our shoulders, and measure each day by how well we have kept everything together. Yet control, for all its effort, never brings the peace it promises. It only builds tension where trust longs to breathe. For many years, I believed control was safety. If I could plan, predict, and perfect every detail, then nothing could go wrong. But life, in its wisdom, began to unravel my plans one by one. At first, I thought I was being tested. Later, I understood I was being freed. Life was asking me to surrender. Control disguises itself as responsibility. It says, if I don't do everything, everything will fall apart. But the truth is, What is truly meant for you can never be lost, no matter how little you manage it. The universe is not waiting for your anxiety, it is waiting for your faith. We hold so tightly to outcomes, believing our grip keeps us safe, but a hand clenched in fear cannot receive guidance. When we loosen the grip, the heart opens, and in that openness, clarity flows in naturally. Life always knows where to take us once we stop blocking the path. The need for control begins in childhood, when chaos feels unbearable. We learn to organize, to overthink, to prepare for every possibility. But what once kept us safe becomes our prison as adults. We forget that safety no longer comes from vigilance, but from trust in the intelligence of life. Control and flow cannot exist together. One demands proof, the other relies on faith. One tenses the muscles, the other relaxes them. The body reveals the truth instantly. Notice how you breathe when you're planning every detail, and how you breathe when you trust that all is well. In my own journey, I tried to manage my healing. I thought if I said enough affirmations, if I visualized perfectly, I could force change. But love cannot be commanded, it can only be invited. When I stopped pushing, my body began to soften. Healing followed when I stopped trying to make it happen. The universe is governed by love's intelligence. The same power that turns seasons, that opens flowers, that spins the planets, is also moving through you. You do not need to direct it, you need only cooperate with it. Life does not ask for your control, it asks for your alignment. Fear whispers, if I let go, I will lose everything. But love answers, if you let go, you will lose nothing real. The more I trusted this truth, the more peace I found. Life does not remove what is truly yours. It removes what blocks you from receiving what's meant to stay. Control thrives on the illusion of predictability. It promises, if I plan well enough, I will avoid pain. But pain is not the enemy, it is the teacher. It visits not to harm, but to guide. The mind that fears pain creates tension. The heart that trusts it learns grace. There is a natural order to life, and when we surrender to it, we discover rhythm. We stop swimming against the current. We realize the river was never dangerous, our resistance was. When we float, the same current that once exhausted us begins to carry us. I often remind people you are safe in the flow of divine order. Divine order does not require your supervision, it only requires your faith. The more you let go of control, the more you see that everything is unfolding in its perfect time, whether or not it matches your calendar. The belief that if I stop trying, nothing will happen is one of the greatest lies of fear. The truth is, when you stop forcing, everything begins to align. Forcing blocks inspiration, allowing invites it. You cannot hear guidance over the noise of control. When you trust, you begin to notice how often life has already worked things out for you. The delayed flight that led you to meet a friend, the job you didn't get that led to something better, the heartbreak that opened the door to deeper love. Life has always been guiding you. Surrender is not giving up, it is giving over, handing your worries back to the intelligence that knows what to do with them. When you surrender, your energy returns. The exhaustion of control lifts. You discover that ease, not effort, was the missing ingredient all along. We have been taught that letting go is weakness, but it is strength of the highest order. It takes courage to trust what you cannot see. It takes faith to believe that life is on your side. But once you do, miracles unfold quietly, not because you commanded them, but because you allowed them. I recall a time when I desperately tried to force a relationship to work. I said, if I just try harder, love will stay. But love does not thrive in cages. The more I held on, the more it slipped away. When I finally released it with gratitude, peace returned, and love later came back in a higher form. The peace that follows surrender cannot be faked. It has no drama, no striving, no urgency. It is a steady knowing that says, life knows. You breathe differently in that peace. The heart expands and the body feels light again. This is the language of trust, silent but certain. Think of how flowers open. They do not pry their petals apart. They unfold naturally with light and time. You too are opening in divine timing. No amount of control can hurry what love has planned. The only thing required is patience, and patience is trust in motion. When the mind wants to plan, pause. Ask gently, can I trust this moment? Instead, feel the breath move in and out. See how life continues, even without your constant supervision. The sun rises, the lungs expand, the heart beats, all without your control. That is the evidence of divine order. The unknown frightens only those who forget they are guided. But when you remember that the same power that created you sustains you, the unknown becomes adventure. You begin to greet it with curiosity instead of fear. You stop asking what if and begin whispering even if I trust. Control turns faith into anxiety. We say we believe in divine timing, but then we panic when it doesn't match our schedule. True faith says, even this delay is love. Sometimes what you call waiting is simply grace giving you time to prepare for what's next. When I teach surrender, people ask, but if I stop controlling, won't everything fall apart? And I smile and say, only what was never meant to stay. What falls away under the light of trust was never real safety, it was dependence. Real safety is found in peace, not control. Trust turns effort into ease. It turns how will I manage into I am guided. It replaces tension with rhythm, fear with flow. When you live this way, life becomes lighter. You no longer wake with dread, but with curiosity. You begin to look forward to what the day might bring. Try this small practice. Breathe in and say silently, I release control. Breathe out and say, I trust life. Do it again. Feel how your body shifts. The shoulders lower, the chest opens, the breath deepens. This is not imagination, it is energy realigning with peace. You may not always see how the path will unfold, but you can trust that it is unfolding. Life never demands you see the entire staircase, only that you take one step at a time. The step appears when you stop trying to see the whole way ahead. Surrender feels like falling at first, but then you realize you are being held. The arms that catch you are invisible but unmistakable. They have held you since the day you were born, through every storm, through every silence, through every lesson you once called loss. I tell my students, there is no such thing as being off your path. Even detours are divine. You may wander, but you never leave the love that guides you. Trusting this truth frees you from the anxiety of getting it right. Life corrects itself when you align with peace. When you begin to release control, you will notice small miracles. The phone call that comes just as you need reassurance. The idea that arrives effortlessly after days of strain. The opportunity that meets you halfway. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations of trust. Fear loves to predict catastrophe, but faith says, I will meet whatever comes with grace. This quiet confidence is power. When you stop controlling outcomes, you stop fearing them. The energy once spent on worry becomes available for joy. Letting go of control brings you back to rhythm. The heart beats, the waves move, the seasons turn, all without human command. You are part of that rhythm. When you remember this, you stop fighting the tide. You start dancing with it. There is such relief in saying, I do not need to know. The mind, once frantic for answers, softens into rest. You realize that peace was never found in certainty, it was found in trust. The unknown, once terrifying, becomes sacred space for miracles to grow. The more you release, the more you notice how life supports you. Doors open where there were walls. Help appears before you ask. The rhythm of grace carries you forward. Control could never give you that. Only faith can. Remember, you are not the one making the sun rise, or the heart beat, or the seasons turn. The same love that manages all, that manages your life too. You can rest now. Life knows. You are safe in the flow of divine order. Let this truth settle deeply. You do not need to push the river. You only need to float. The current of life is wise. It knows the way home. Each breath you take is a reminder you are guided, you are protected, and you are loved. Now, breathe in softly and repeat, I release control and trust in life. Breathe out and whisper, I am safe in the flow of divine order. Let that rhythm stay with you. It is not just an affirmation. It is the truth of how peace is born. There comes a time in every journey when effort has done all it can. You have pushed, prayed, and persisted. You have repeated affirmations, sought clarity, begged for change, and still nothing moves. That is the moment when life invites you into the higher art of healing, the art of allowing. Allowing is the opposite of struggle. It is the quiet confidence that says, I do not need to chase what is already mine. It is the understanding that life is not against you, it is for you, always waiting for your permission to bless you. The door has never been locked, only your heart has been guarded. For most of my life, I believe peace came from effort. I thought if I could just say the right words, think the right thoughts, do the right things, I could make everything work. But love cannot be commanded. It blooms in the atmosphere of acceptance, not control. It is nourished by openness, not striving. The mind believes progress is earned, but the soul knows progress is allowed. The universe is generous by nature. It does not need to be convinced. It only needs to be welcomed. The moment you stop struggling to make life happen, you notice it has been happening for you all along. Many confuse allowing with passivity. They think it means doing nothing. But allowing is the highest activity of faith. It says, I will do my part and then trust the rest. It is a partnership with the unseen where effort ends and grace begins. It is not lazy, it is sacred cooperation. You cannot both resist and receive. A clenched heart cannot feel peace. An anxious mind cannot hear guidance. Allowing begins when we soften our inner stance, when we stop demanding that life look a certain way and start trusting that it is unfolding in perfect order. Grace cannot enter a mind that is judging itself. It waits at the door of forgiveness. The moment you stop criticizing yourself for being behind, you create space for the universe to catch up with your readiness. Life rushes to meet you the instant you stop running from where you are. For years, I taught affirmations. People would say them dutifully. I am loved, I am safe, I am healed. But their tone carried tension, not faith. The words were right, but the energy was not. You see, affirmations are not spells, they are invitations. They work only when spoken from a relaxed heart. The art of allowing is learning to speak to life like a trusted friend, not a fearful parent. You don't shout commands, you whisper permission. You say, I am ready for joy. I am open to ease. I am willing to receive. And life, which has been listening patiently all along, finally exhales. I used to believe allowing meant waiting idly. But it is more active than that. It asks for attentiveness. It requires awareness of how your thoughts feel. When a thought tightens you, it is resistance. When a thought relaxes you, it is allowing. The body always reveals which one you have chosen. Love flows wherever tension ends. You cannot make love come. You can only clear the space for it to enter. The same is true for healing, for prosperity, for peace. Every form of goodness moves toward openness. Every clenched belief repels it. The difference is not in the world, it is in your willingness. You may notice how life becomes quieter when you begin to allow. The mind stops shouting, and intuition starts whispering. Guidance no longer comes as commands, but as gentle impulses. You find yourself in the right place at the right time, not by effort, but by ease. Allowing also means no longer arguing with the present. You stop saying, "This shouldn't be happening," and start saying, "This too has something to teach me." Acceptance does not mean approval, it means cooperation with what already is. From that cooperation, peace emerges. Every time you insist something must change before you can be happy, you postpone peace. But the moment you say, "I can be at peace even here," the energy shifts. The condition often changes soon after, because you have stopped resisting what was meant to move naturally. I once met a man who said, "I've tried everything and nothing works." I smiled gently and said, "Then stop trying." He laughed, thinking I was joking, but a month later he returned glowing. He said, "The moment I stopped forcing, everything fell into place." Allowing had done what effort could not. When we allow, we acknowledge that life knows better than we do. The mind has limited vision. It can see only what has been. Life sees the whole. It sees what you are becoming, not just what you've been. When you allow, you stop arguing with the wisdom that is guiding you toward joy. Allowing is a practice of faith in motion. It is saying yes to what is, trusting that it contains what you need to grow. When we stop fighting reality, reality transforms. What we call miracles are simply moments when we finally stop resisting love. Imagine your life as a garden. You do not shout at the flowers to bloom. You water, you wait, you trust the sun. That is allowing. You care without control. You give attention without anxiety. The results come not because you force them, but because you created the right conditions for life to flourish. To allow is to remember that you are not separate from life, you are part of its rhythm. The same intelligence that grows trees and tides is working within you. You do not need to direct it, you only need to harmonize with it. Allowing is alignment. The soul's return to its natural flow. Allowing also means forgiving your impatience. We want things to happen now, but the universe moves by divine timing. It delivers when the soil is ready, not when the ego demands. You are not waiting for life. Life is waiting for your readiness, your softening, your surrender. Sometimes allowing means not knowing. The mind resists uncertainty, but mystery is where miracles grow. You do not need to see the full path to take the next step. Trust the step you can see. When you allow, the next one will appear, always, without fail. In moments of fear, remember, you are not being asked to do more. You are being asked to do less, to release, to breathe, to allow. The miracle is not in your effort, it is in your willingness to stop fighting what wants to bless you. Try this. Breathe deeply and imagine your heart as a doorway. With each exhale, the door opens wider. Whisper softly, "I am open to receive." Feel the air move through you. That is what allowing feels like: ease, softness, grace. The heart does not need to be pried open. It unfolds when it feels safe. As you practice allowing, you will begin to notice subtle changes. People become kinder. Solutions arrive with less struggle. Your body relaxes into its natural rhythm. You realize that life was never resisting you, it was matching your vibration. The more you allow, the more it flows. Allowing is not resignation. It is participation in harmony. It is saying yes to life's music, even when you don't know the tune. You stop trying to conduct the orchestra and start dancing to the melody. In that surrender, joy is born again. There is a sacred humility in allowing It acknowledges that love is wiser than fear, that the universe has better timing than impatience, and that grace can accomplish in moments what effort could not achieve in years. You begin to see that softness is not weakness, it is wisdom. Allowing teaches you to receive compliments without deflection, rest without guilt, and love without fear. It heals the reflex to reject what feels too good. It replaces "I don't deserve this" with "I am grateful for this." This is how abundance becomes your new normal. You will know you are allowing when you feel calm in the midst of uncertainty. The mind may not have answers, but the heart feels safe. That is the sign of alignment, the quiet knowing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. If you find yourself resisting again, do not scold yourself. Resistance is part of the dance. Simply notice it, breathe, and soften. Say gently, "I am willing to allow again." Life does not need perfection, only willingness. Every return to trust strengthens your connection with peace. There will be days when you forget, when you slip into striving, when the old habit of control returns. That's all right. Allow that too. The moment you forgive the struggle, it loses power. Even your resistance deserves compassion. It too is learning to relax. Soon you will notice that allowing feels natural. It becomes your default rhythm. You live in flow rather than fight. You wake up without the heaviness of control. Life feels like partnership instead of performance. You no longer chase, you attract. To allow is to live in harmony with grace. It is the softest form of courage to trust what you cannot see, to open where you once closed, to say yes where you once said no. The reward is peace beyond understanding. Now, breathe deeply once more. Place your hands open on your lap. Whisper softly, "I relax and allow life to bless me in perfect ways. All is unfolding for my highest good." Feel how those words settle in your body. That feeling is your confirmation you are finally allowing. Allowing is not the end of your work. It is the beginning of your freedom. And as you master it, life will begin to move again, not through effort, but through ease, not through fear, but through faith. There comes a soft moment when, after years of grasping, you finally open your hands. Nothing dramatic happens, no trumpets, no thunder, only quiet peace. You realize life has been trying to give to you all along. It was never about earning. It was always about allowing yourself to receive. To receive is to remember your worth. It is to say to the universe, "I am ready to be blessed." It is not arrogance, it is alignment. You are not asking for more than you deserve. You are accepting what has always belonged to you. Life has been waiting for this simple yes. True receiving is not a demand, it is a declaration of trust. It says, "I know life provides." It says, "I know love flows freely." It says, "I no longer need to chase what is already mine." When you speak this way, the energy around you changes. The heart softens, the body warms, and the current begins to move. For years, I confused giving with goodness. I gave until I was empty, thinking it was holy to pour myself out. But balance is the language of love. As we exhale, we must also inhale. The breath teaches us giving and receiving are one sacred motion. One without the other is imbalance, not virtue. Many of us were taught that it is selfish to receive. But how can we give what we do not have? The most generous souls are those who let themselves be replenished. When you fill your own cup, every overflow becomes a blessing for the world. Receiving is not greed, it is gratitude in motion. Life is generous beyond measure. Every sunrise, every breath, every beating heart is proof. The question is never whether abundance exists, only whether we are open to it. The door of receiving is the heart, and it opens the moment we stop defending against love. You cannot receive with clenched fists or a guarded spirit. You cannot accept blessings while rehearsing old disappointments. The past closes the window, faith opens it. When you say, I am safe to receive, life rushes in. Relieved that you have finally stopped saying no. Receiving does not always come as material gifts. It may arrive as peace, as insight, as rest, as an unexpected kindness. It may come as forgiveness or the courage to begin again. Every moment of goodness is the universe's quiet whisper, you are loved. There was a time when I asked for blessings, but secretly doubted they would come. My words said yes, but my energy said no. Life hears both. When I learned to believe I was worthy, blessings began to flow like water, not because they suddenly appeared, but because I stopped blocking their path. The universe does not need your struggle, it needs your permission. Every time you stop worrying, you create space for guidance. Every time you stop doubting, you open a channel for miracles. The flow of receiving is not forced, it is remembered. Receiving requires gentleness. When we are harsh with ourselves, we reject good unconsciously. We say, not yet, not me, I don't deserve this. But love has no conditions. It does not wait for your perfection, only your acceptance. The moment you soften, love finds its way in. Gratitude is the doorway to receiving. When you thank life for what already is, you signal that you are ready for more. Gratitude multiplies what it touches. It tells the universe, I notice your gifts. And the universe, ever generous, responds, here, take more. Start each morning by saying, thank you, life, for this new day. Before asking for anything, bless what already surrounds you, your breath, your body, your lessons. Gratitude transforms the ordinary into the miraculous. It turns scarcity into satisfaction, effort into ease. You may find that as you open to receive, things begin to arrive effortlessly. The phone rings with good news, opportunities arise without chasing, help comes before you ask. This is not coincidence, it is cooperation with love. The universe loves a receptive heart. Receiving is not something you do, it is something you allow. It happens in stillness, in faith, in calm expectation. It is the moment you stop searching for proof and start living as though you already have it. That belief alone rearranges your world. There is beauty in the quiet confidence of those who know they are cared for by life. They walk slower, breathe deeper, and speak gently. They no longer beg, they bless. Their energy says, I trust. And because they trust, they receive without effort, without fear, without guilt. To receive fully, you must also release the need to control how blessings arrive. They may come through unexpected people or unconventional paths. They may not look like your plans, they may look better. Life always delivers in the form most suited to your growth. The more you release the old idea that love must be earned, the more freely it comes. You stop chasing approval. You stop striving for validation. You realize love was never withheld. It was only waiting for you to stop proving yourself unworthy. When you finally receive, the heart expands. You feel warmth in the chest, ease in the breath, a lightness in your steps. The mind grows quiet. You realize that the effort of control was the only thing keeping peace away. It was never outside of you, it was waiting within you all along. I remember once writing the affirmation, I am open and receptive to all the good and abundance in the universe. I repeated it every morning until I could feel it vibrate in my bones. And slowly, everything began to change, not because the world shifted, but because I had love is like sunlight. It shines equally on everyone. But some of us have kept the curtains closed. We sit in shadow, thinking the sun forgot us. The truth is, it never stopped shining. The moment you pull the curtain back, the moment you say, I allow light in, the warmth rushes through. Receiving is also about trusting timing. The flower does not bloom in winter, yet it is not neglected. It rests. Life gives in seasons. The delays you fear are not rejections, they are gestations. Every not yet is preparing a yes of greater depth. To live in the flow of receiving, practice patience. Do not dig up your seeds to see if they are growing. Bless the process instead. Know that unseen roots are forming. You may not see progress yet, but love is working in secret, arranging everything for your readiness. As you receive, you naturally begin to give again, not out of depletion, but out of overflow. Giving and receiving are the inhale and exhale of love. Each breath in nourishes you. Each breath out nourishes the world. The more you receive, the more you have to share. Sometimes receiving means accepting help. We resist it out of pride or guilt, thinking we must do everything alone, but help is one of life's favorite languages. When someone offers their kindness, let it in. Say thank you. You honor the giver by allowing yourself to receive. Every act of receiving deepens humility, not ego. It reminds you that life loves you not for what you do, but for who you are. And when you feel loved, you become love itself. You radiate it without trying. That radiance is the proof that the flow has begun. The flow of receiving also brings forgiveness. You stop punishing yourself for how long it took to learn. You stop resenting the wait. You realize everything unfolded perfectly. Even the detours were divine. Life was never late. It was always teaching timing. Miracles rarely announce themselves. They slip in quietly, a piece that wasn't there before, a problem that suddenly feels lighter, a door that opens where none existed. That is how love moves silently but surely when the heart finally says yes. If you ever doubt your ability to receive, look around. Notice how generously life gives, the air, the sky, the rhythm of your heartbeat. None of these are earned. They are given freely, because giving is the nature of life itself. You too are part of that nature. When you rest, you are receiving. When you breathe deeply, you are receiving. When you smile for no reason, you are receiving. Every moment of ease is the universe saying, here, this piece is for you. The more you notice it, the more it multiplies. Let this be your affirmation. I let go. I trust life. I receive with grace. Say it softly until it feels true. Each repetition deepens the groove of faith in your mind. Each word tells your body it is safe to relax. The more you repeat it, the more natural receiving becomes. You will know you have entered the flow when you no longer measure or compare. You no longer ask, when will it come? Because you feel it already has. You no longer chase because you are full. You no longer cling because you trust that what is meant for you cannot miss you. Receiving is the final act of letting go. It completes the circle. It is the exhale after years of holding your breath. It is the softness after years of struggle. It is the moment you realize that life was never withholding from you, you were withholding from yourself. Close your eyes for a moment. Place your hands gently over your heart. Feel its rhythm constant, forgiving, alive. Whisper softly, I am ready to receive all the good that life has for me. Stay there until the words settle. Feel warmth spreading through your chest. That is love entering quietly, completely. As you live in this awareness, everything becomes easier. You notice that what once felt